Hello and welcome to the presentation on Dynamics of Machinery, Unit number 2, Single Degree of Freedom Systems, Force Vibration. So the content of these units are as specified on this particular slide, and initially we have seen in unit number 1 about the free vibrations, and now we are going to see the force vibrations. So in case of free vibration, there was no external excitation being given to the system for its vibrations to occur. But in case of force vibrations, like in case of IC engines, there is a motion of the engine, or in case of compressors, there is an electric motor which is providing the input to the machinery to cause the vibrations. So that is what is called as force vibrations. So we are going to see the force vibration in this particular presentation. So first let us understand what is damped vibration. So damped vibration means there will be certain resistance to the motion of vibration, and because of that resistance the system will come to its steady state after some period of time. It means the vibrations in this case are occurring under the influence of inherent elastic properties of the system, and the system will come to rest after some time. So then what is force vibration? So in case of force vibration, now you can see this particular diagram. Here suppose you will find out that there are certain vibrations going on, and you will observe that the amplitude of vibration goes on decreasing, but this amplitude of vibration will not completely decay down, but it will have certain magnitude present over there. So these kind of vibrations are called as damped force vibrations. So in this case the external energy source will cause the vibrations in the system, and these vibrations are given to this particular machine continuously from a source of excitation. So this source of excitation may be periodic, or it may be impulsive, or it may be random in nature. So periodic force can have a harmonic force or maybe a non-harmonic force. The different examples where the periodic force will act on the machine are machine tools, internal combustion engines, air compressors, and so many. While impulsive force means, suppose if there is a press machine or a punching machine where there is a punch is acting over the die, so it is a falling body or the hammer which is going to cause the impulsive excitation to the system, and the excitation which are random in nature caused by the earthquake. So let us study here the periodic damped force vibrations in detail. So here now we will try to determine the natural frequency of the system, and we are interested in finding out how the response of the system will be there. That means the displacement variation with respect to time. So let us consider here a simple spring, mass and dashpot system. So this is nothing but the spring having stiffness K, this is the damper having damping coefficient C, and the mass M, and this system is excited by F0 sine omega t force. Okay, so this force is varying by a sinusoidal nature. So maximum amplitude of this particular force is F0. Okay, and now if I have to write the governing differential equation for this particular system, so I have to draw first of all the free body diagram of this mass and specify the different forces acting on it. So first I will specify this external excitation force, that is F0 sin omega t. Suppose if I consider that this force at a particular instant is acting in the downward direction, so its magnitude is F0 sin omega t. So because of this downward motion, displacement in the downward direction, there will be opposite reaction will be offered by this mass, that is inertia force, which will act in the upward direction. So it is mass into acceleration, so x double dot is the acceleration. Now when this mass is moved downward, so there will be tension in this particular spring and this particular damper, so because of which there is a upward force k into x, that is the magnitude of this particular spring force, k into x will be acting in the upward direction, and because of this particular damper there is a c into x dot, a damping force also acts in the upward direction. So let us write the sum of all these forces. So you will find here that there are three forces in the upward direction and one force in the downward direction. So I can make the sum of these forces as m into x double dot plus cx dot plus kx, that will be equal to, since it is opposite in the downward direction, it will be equal to f0 sin omega t, and you can write this equation like this. This is nothing but the equation of motion. So mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to f0 sin omega t. So this is a linear non-homogeneous second order differential equation whose solution is in two parts. So previously we have solved the equation in which case the right hand side was 0 and therefore there was only one solution, that is a complementary function over there. But now since there is a right hand side part, that is f0 sin omega t, so it will have also a particular integral. So this displacement x we are going to represent as the two terms xc and xp. So this is complementary displacement and this is particular integral of that. So this is actually particularly called as a transient response. Xc is called as transient response and xp is called as steady state response. So let us now discuss in detail what is exactly this complementary function or transient response is. So we have already seen for different conditions of damping in the unit number 1. So we have seen the over damped condition, critically damped condition and under damped condition. So different conditions of damping we have seen. So these responses decays with time, that we have observed, that whether it is critically damped or over damped or under damped, these responses will decay with time. Thus the response is transient in nature and therefore it is called as transient response. So this is nothing but the under damped response, transient one, which will be decaying after some period of time. And now we'll go for the particular integral, or it is called as steady state response. So this response neither builds up or nor decays with time. So it is steady state harmonic oscillation having frequency equal to that of excitation. So frequency of that will be equal to that of excitation. And how to determine this particular integral or the steady state response, that we are going to see in the further slides. So just see this particular diagram once again, that is the, because of transient nature of it, it will have this kind of vibration and after that it will be a steady state response continuously. So this is what is the equation that we have written from the figure diagram of that particular mass. Ms double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to f0 sin omega t. So the particular integral or steady state response is a steady state oscillation of the same frequency omega as that of the external excitation, and the displacement vector lags the force vector by some angle, and therefore that angle is nothing but this phi we have specified here. So we are assuming that this displacement x is equal to capital X sin of omega t minus phi. So this we can represent here in the form of diagram, that this is nothing but the force, variation of force, and this is the variation of displacement. So there is a phase difference of this angle phi. So that is why we are specifying this x is equal to capital X sin of omega t minus phi, where x is the maximum amplitude of vibration and phi is the phase of the displacement with respect to the exciting force, or it is called as the angle by which the displacement vector lags the force vector. Now when we differentiate this displacement with respect to t, we will get omega into x cos of omega t minus phi. So we can write this as omega into x into sine of 90 plus omega t minus phi. Means we are writing this cos in terms of sine, so we have to use allied angle formula to get this pi by 2, that is 90 plus omega t minus phi. And also if I again differentiate this with respect to time, so acceleration becomes minus omega square into x sine of 180 plus omega t minus phi. Now I have to put the solution, that is this is assumed solution of displacement, this velocity x dot and acceleration x double dot into this particular equation. So let us put it here. So once you put those values here, like so here this acceleration is minus omega square into x sin of omega t minus phi, and similarly here also there will be minus m omega square x sin of omega t minus phi. So this is what you have put at the acceleration value here, and my m is multiplied with this. Then c into x dot. So c is there, so x dot value is omega into x. So x dot is omega into x, sin over 90 plus omega t minus phi, and k into x, so x is nothing but x sin of omega t minus phi, that is equal to f0 sin omega t, this term as it is. So if you observe this equation, you will find out that there are four terms in this equation. One, this is second, this is third, and this is the fourth term. Okay, so these terms are having their magnitude and direction. So you can say that these are actually the forces. So force will have the magnitude and the direction. So this first is nothing but the inertia force, the second is your damping force, and the third is your spring force, and this is your impressed force, means external excitation. If you take these all the forces in order, so you will find out that their sum will be equal to 0, which will satisfy the D'Alembert principle, that is sum of all the forces will be equal to 0 for the equilibrium. So now we will try to plot these particular forces in the form of a vector. So let us see here. So first is this excitation force will try to mark in the form of vector f0 sin omega t. So f0 is its maximum amplitude, and omega t, with this it is going to vary. So I will take an angle of omega t from this reference axis, and I will draw the line equal to the magnitude of f0, like this it will be represented. Now I know that the displacement is having a phase difference of phi, so I will take phi minus from this. I will come on the axis side reverse way by an angle phi. So this angle whatever is available to me, it will be nothing but omega t minus phi. So on this line there will be displacement, that is x. Okay, now I will try to mark the next force. Suppose I will take this force, inertia force, which is equal to minus m omega square x sin of omega t minus phi. So if I have to take all these forces on one side, that means I will shift this force towards the right hand side, so it becomes plus. Okay, so this magnitude will be m omega square into x, and angle is omega t minus phi. So this is omega t minus phi angle. Okay, and minus m omega square, if I move it towards right side, it will be positive. So this is m omega square r m omega square into x, that magnitude we have plotted. Now I will plot the second, this is c omega x, this force sine of 90 plus omega t minus phi. So this is omega t minus phi, 90 degree with this means it will be this line, but since I am moving this force towards right hand side, so it will be negative. Okay, so this force actually it will be 90 plus omega t minus phi becomes here, opposite of that, since it is negative, on if I move it towards right, it will be downward direction, so it will become c omega x, that is the magnitude of it. Now I have to draw this spring force. So again this will also be negative when I move to the right side, so its magnitude is k into x, and angle is omega t minus phi. So this is my line of omega t minus phi. Okay, and since it is to be negative, so I will draw it in the opposite side of that. So this is the magnitude k into x, it is drawn here. Okay, now I will try to draw the polygon of this particular force polygon, so that I want that all these forces are going to balance the system and making the system in the equilibrium condition. So let us see here. Now first I will draw this force F0, okay, with a blue color it is indicating. So I will draw that at an angle of omega t. This F0 is drawn here. Now after this I will go anti-clockwise. So second force I will mark, that is this one, depending upon its magnitude and direction. So from this point, once I have plotted the magnitude of this F0, I will draw another line parallel to this particular kx from this point. So it will be plotted at this point. Then from here, now I will draw the third force, that is c omega x. This one is the third force that I will mark. So it is in the downward direction. So parallel to this, I will draw one line from this point where this kx will end. So I will draw it downward, and then I will draw a line parallel to this m omega square into x, this magnitude, and that force will be drawn like this. So it will be ending at this particular point where it was started. So this is nothing but a closed force polygon, which gives the system is in balanced condition. So in this case I have considered all these forces in the anti-clockwise direction. You can also draw these forces in the clockwise directions also. Here as I have indicated, this is first force, okay, then I will consider the second this force, then third this force, and the fourth this force. So if I consider it like this, in that case my force polygon becomes like this. So I will draw first of all F0 by considering this magnitude and direction of F0, then this m omega square into x, I will draw it like this. Then I will draw third force c omega x downward, so c omega x downward, and then the fourth k into x. So from here it will k into x. So again I will get the same origin point from where the diagram started, and it will end to the same point. Okay, so now from this diagram my aim is to calculate the response of the system. That means I have to actually calculate x, small x, that is small x is equal to capital X into sine of omega t, that is the displacement sine of omega t minus phi. It means I have to find out the value of this capital X and the value of that phi by this particular diagram, so that I can get the finally complete response of this system. So this response we are going to obtain in the next presentation. So here just will stop, and in the next presentation we will see how we can obtain the response, that is x, of a force vibration of single degree of freedom system under harmonic excitation. Okay, thank you very much.